working the way that it needs to be working. But as far as I know, we are live. Your meeting is being live streamed. Okay, cool. I wonder, am I on YouTube though? Should I check that right now? Hey y'all, I'm just getting all the technologies together. So if you're just coming on, say hi to me. Say hi to Miss Teaudra. Did I say it right? Teaudra.
Yeah, you said.
Y'all got it right. Okay. Because last time you was like, that's not my name. My name. It's like, no, you didn't say it like that. I'm just doing a quick check to see if I'm showing up on YouTube, because I actually sent the email out to my subscribers telling them that, hey, I'm going to be live. Okay, yeah, I can see me on there. All right, we rocking and rolling. Let's go. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I'm kind of stalling right now. That is what I'm doing because I'm giving people time to get on. So let me check the dashboard to see if there's anybody in the chat. Okay, I see Miss Christina on there. Christina Abrams, she got an Akashic record, not only a name reading from me, she got the whole package. So Christina, let the people know, if you don't mind, let the people know, I ain't gonna put words in your mouth, but whatever you want to say about what you got out of that whole package. She spent three one-on-one sessions with me, not only looking at her Akashic records, but also us coming up with a plan on how we can actually implement it and how she can use it to change her life. The reason why I started offering that service is because I noticed that people would get name interpretations and then it would be like, oh, that's so cool. And then like nothing, right? But I want your life to change just from that. And I know it might sound dramatic or traumatic, or well, maybe not traumatic, but it might sound far-fetched that like you could just get this one thing done and it could completely change your life. But that's what it did for me, and that's the reason why I started doing these, because when I did my own name, my life took a whole left turn. I became a whole nother person. All right. So if you don't know me, my name is Rev Kamisha. I am an ordained metaphysician and I specialize in word magic. That means that I'm able to see the hidden meaning of words or the esoteric meaning of words. And I don't only do that with words, I do that with people's names and birth dates. And that is how I read Akashic records. So if you don't know what Akashic records is, you can go to my YouTube channel and I got a whole bunch of videos there about Akashic records. All right, so now you know who I am. Miss Teaudra, you want to introduce yourself real quick? Where are you from? Let the people know where you're from. You can let them know what you do or what you're working on doing. Here's your opportunity to have the floor, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm working on some things, but I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna keep it hidden right now. But yeah, I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska.
To let you know what she do. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna let you know what else I do, which is I also specialize in helping people get paid to speak, teach, and travel for a living. That is also what I've been doing for the past 5 years, and I've been using metaphysics to do that. I've been learning, well, not learning, I mean, I've been applying it on actually basically alchemizing, right, all the trauma and drama that I went through in my life and actually packaging that up, all the wisdom that I got from that, packaging it up and putting it into a course, a speaking engagement, an in-person events. And that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. And so now I want to help you do that. So if you're interested in doing that, I'm actually going to put something in the comments for you that's going to help you get booked to speak, okay? So I know that we came on here to talk about Akashic records, but of course, I have to plug myself. It just makes sense. So, and I should have already had this link up, but stuff happens, okay? Where is the form at? And then right after I pull this form up for y'all, I'm going to, we're going to go ahead on and get started in doing Teaudra's name. Not only will we be doing her name, but we are also going to talk about her brother. Her brother passed recently. Well, I know he's not racist to say recently because I don't know, but her brother passed. And also her son is named after her brother. She's also named after her aunt and her great grandmother, right, Teaudra? Your great grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. And so that's the reason why I asked her to do this with me, because I like doing people's names when they are named after other people. That just makes it way more interesting for the reading. So I'm going to the dashboard. Okay, now I'm putting the link down there. If you want to speak, teach, and travel for a living, what I just dropped in the comments is a way for you to download a 9-step free, okay, it's a free 9-step speaker blueprint. And when you download that, you're going to see not everything, well, of course not, because I can't squeeze everything into that one little file, but you're going to see like the major 9 steps that I take my students through and helping them expand their audience, turn their virtual audience into a paid audience, and so forth and so forth. Brooklyn said, how do I get into the Zoom? Well, you're not on the Zoom. You should be able to see me live. You can't see me live? You should be able to see me live on Facebook. Okay, Christina said, it really helped me to accept me for who I am, be bold and secure. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, y'all, without further delay, let's get into Teaudra's name here. So, first of all, whenever I'm doing name interpretations, the very first thing that I look at is the first letter of somebody's name, because the first letter of your name usually is like the head of it and is going to tell the complete story. It's going to tell the bulk of the story. This is how you're leading. This is like one of the major things that you came here for, just by looking at the first letter. So the first letter, or even the first sound in Teaudra's name, is T. Okay. And so the letter T by itself, how I see it, I'm looking at it as a symbol. It represents balance, because you got one line going that way, another line going that way, and it's balance. Okay. So it's representing balance, which automatically makes us think about Libra. I would tell her, and I'm telling her now, you want to look at what is in your chart in Libra, because your name, that first letter right there, is telling you that it has something to do with balance. The letter T is also, or a lowercase t, is also an X. And so an X, the symbol for X, means power. Why? Because when we multiply things, we expand things by using that symbol X, or we say, 4 to the third power or whatever. That means that something got multiplied, something got expanded. So just right off the top, her name has something to do with her learning about her own power and her own ability to expand. Okay, her own ability to keep balance. Like together, just in that by itself is saying, I have power and balance, or I have power in balance, or there is power in balance. Like it's telling her something about the relationship between power and balance. Did I say that the first time I did your name?
No, you didn't.
Okay. See, I told you, because I did this for her already, but I told her, like, I did it again, and so I'm probably found some new stuff. Okay, so the other part of her name, which is the Audra name, Audra, she got that name from her great aunt. And when people get named after other people, it suggests, I ain't stating this as a fact or the Holy Grail, but it does suggest that you took on somebody else's, or you made an agreement with them to take on their karmic lesson that was stored in their name. Okay, it's no different than, in the Bible, when everybody had these different names, God would always say, well, I named them this because of that. It's because of their attributes. It's the same thing here, right? And if you take on somebody's name, then you start taking on their attributes. If you were to get married and you took on your husband's name, then you obviously start to take on his attributes also, because y'all are one and y'all are swapping energy, right? It's the same thing in the spiritual world. When you take on somebody's name, you are also taking on part of their energy, their cosmic lessons, their karmic lessons. So with Teaudra, she is taking on some lesson that she got from her great aunt. So let's talk about what the lesson is. Well, the etymology of Audrey, Audrey, which is phonetically the same or very similar tone and vibration, because we're talking about vibration here, okay? It's a similar tone and vibration to Audrey. That name means noble, might, and strength. So again, we're still talking about power, because noble, might, and strength still is power, which is the same as the first letter on her name. So again, she's being reminded of her own power. Okay, and so this was a lesson that her great aunt also had. Now let's also go to her middle name. Okay, her middle name is Sonobi. Now spell, am I saying it right, or is it Kenobi?
It's Cenobi.
It's Cenobi. Okay. Cenobi. We already know where we about to go with that, right? But it's spelled Cenobie. But listen to how it sounds. It literally says C, no, and B. Now, mind you, she got this name from her great-grandmother. Her great-grandmother's name is Nobi C. Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Her great-grandmother's name is Nobi C. That again tells us that she's taking on the karmic lessons, the cosmic lessons that she got from her great-grandmother, which her great-grandmother's karmic lessons, cosmic lessons was around her knowing, being, and seeing, or using the power of that. Okay. But in Teaudra's case, it got flipped around and they put the C on the front. So what does that tell us? I just told you at the beginning that whatever is on the front of the name is the most powerful part of it. So because the name got switched around, it's almost like it's saying that her great-grandmother probably learned the know part already, which knowing is about having faith, which is about having, like, just being confident, right? Knowing is about being confident. So her great-grandmother probably learned that, or probably got far in her knowledge of that. So they switched it around and put the C on the front and gave it to Teaudra, which means that you still have to learn how to see, know, and be Teaudra, or know, be, and see, however you want to word it, except for now, the seeing part is more important for you, right, than for your great-grandmother, because she got something with that. So they switched it around. So what does it mean for you to see? It's about you being able to visualize things. So your middle name is saying no, B, and C. Like, it's literally giving you instructions. Okay. I told somebody this earlier today, that the names that we're choosing, not just our birth names, when we name it our business. Okay. I don't know if Michaela is on here. She has a business called Gift from Neptune. I'm sure she don't mind me throwing her out here right now, but she has a business called Gift from Neptune. And I was telling her that she was saying, oh, I always have a hard time narrowing down my niche and blah, 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 blah. And I told her that you need to look at what you already named your business. She already named her business Gift from Neptune. So her niche is about Neptune, which Neptune is about, like, being confused. It's about chaos, right? It's about not nailing down one particular thing and kind of being all over the place, because it represents like the furthest. Okay, I'm not getting to the astrology. Come back, Kamisha. Come back. But you understand what I'm saying? How, like, when we're naming things, not just our names, even when we name our business, we are unconsciously, subconsciously doing that. So I told her on the post that you need to look at what you already named your business. You already picked your niche when you picked Neptune. Okay, so that's what I'm saying here. So for Teaudra, your name having that C on a part of it is telling you that one of the main lessons for you to learn how to visualize. Do you do that a lot? Do you do that like in your meditation, like daydream visualizing?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's one of your powers. Because remember, your first name got everything to do with power, right? The T on the front got to do with power. The Audrey got to do with might and strength. So it's pretty much saying, like, one of your powers is you being able to visualize things. So your instructions are to visualize it, know it, which means have confidence in it, and then be it. It literally says C, know, be. Visualize it, know it, be it. So you came here with those instructions, okay? Now, what is also telling you is that on your last name anyway, and I don't think I said this the first time, because I see the word laugh in there. Did I say that the first time?
No, I don't.
Okay, so right, her last name is Flenall. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you're saying it correct.
Okay, it's Flenall, but if you move, matter of fact, let me put it on the screen. Sometimes I don't want to do all this putting it on the screen, because it can slow me down, and I already talk enough. But I want y'all to see how it's spelled, if you can see that. Okay, sometimes it's really small, but I don't know if you're on your phone or whatever, if you can see it. But if we move those letters around, now it says fell in laugh. Or it says fell and laugh. Like, it really saying and, like, I'm using the N sound, but it's saying fell and laugh. So, like, pretty much it's telling you that if you do fall in this instructions that you have been given, if you do fall, because remember, your name got to do a balance. And how do we fall? When we lose balance, right? So it's telling you that if you do fall or fail at these things, it's okay. Laugh. It's just telling you to laugh. Why would you laugh? Because this whole experience that we're having is a 3D simulation. You can't fail, because guess what? You can do it again. Even if it's not in this life, you will get a chance to do it again. And I had that great revelation when I was doing your name, because I was like, dang, that's so true, that why we never really fail, because as long as we know that we can reincarnate, we can do it again. So it's like, why do we have such this huge this huge fear of failing? And in that moment, of course, I was thinking about myself. I try not to project myself into when I'm doing people's names, but it really did just give me that epiphany. I'm sure any reader on here will vouch for, sometimes you see things that are also speaking to you in that moment, right? What you need in that moment. But what I'm saying to you, Teaudra, is that this name is telling you, like, to not worry about failing, to not worry about that, to not be afraid of that. It's telling you just to see, know, and be it, and don't worry about failing. Don't worry about falling. Don't worry about failing. And if you do, laugh and continue on. You see that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. Do you want to respond to anything that I'm saying? I saw you laugh when I said, fell and laugh or whatever. What was in your mind in that moment?
Well, it just made me think about all the things I have tried, maybe not succeeded at necessarily, but yeah, I definitely got back up and laughed about it, learned something from it. So it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And even what you're doing now, right, is giving you those instructions, like, to don't worry about it. If it doesn't, and I don't feel like it's saying like laugh, fail and laugh and give up, but it's just saying, like, it's funny. Like, just go back to it and do it again. No different than if when you reincarnate, you would get to do it again. Okay, now I'm just looking at my notes to make sure that I didn't skip over anything, because I'm about to do your birth date numbers in a minute. Oh, yes, I did skip over something. And I don't think I told you this the first time. The name Shinobi also comes from the name Cenobite. Did I tell you that the first time? Cenobite?
No, I don't.
Yes, the root word of it is Cenobite, and it means the member of a convent, or a member of a community, of a devoted religious community. So that would suggest that your great grandmother may have been part of some type of religious community. Now, in my mind, what I'm thinking, maybe I'm just too occult, okay? But I'm up here thinking, like, was her great grandmother like part of like a secret society? Or because that's also what that is, like a devoted community. It said a community of people devoted to a particular religion. A convent, that is like, a convent usually is filled with nuns, but it's also like what's the other it's not a fraternity, the other one that's something stars with the women. Come on, y'all. Eastern Stars. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that in you don't have to share this if you don't want to, but is that in your bloodline and all, like Masons and Eastern Stars that you know
of? I think like on my father's side, maybe.
Your father's side?
But I'm not really for certain about that.
Okay. So because your grandmother's name has to do with this being a member of a convent or a community of devoted religion, if you want to, that's what I would suggest, that you look a little bit into that, like, to see, like, well, what was she into, right? Maybe ask your mom. She's not living. She's not living anymore, right?
No, she's passed.
Okay, yeah. Maybe ask your mom if she was into some type of deep religion outside of, regular Christianity or whatever. I would ask. If I was you, I would ask. And I would ask that because
I've actually asked her about that. Yeah.
And what was it?
She told me that she wasn't like into Christianity, but she didn't say that she was into like anything else. But I know that she was like really involved in the community. And yeah.
Yeah, so like you're not aware of any like spiritual background,
But
none of that
no,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
I just know she wasn't a Christian, like Christian, straight Christian.
Well, I mean, that's interesting because again, you got this name got passed down to you and it's your middle name. Whenever I look at people's middle name, I always tell them it's the heart of their name because it's in the center. Right? Excuse me. So it's in the heart of their name. So it's like, and then you took on that name. So it's pretty important. Okay. All right. So now let's get into your birthday numbers. I use the Bible to do birthday numbers for people who are like, how are you doing the birthday numbers? I don't just go on angelnumbers.com. That's not what I do. I like using the Bible. The Bible is, every word in the Bible is assigned a number. And if you don't know, now you know that the Bible is very, it has a lot of numerology in it. It has a whole book called Numbers in the Bible. So it does have a lot of numerology in it. And I have found that when I look at the numbers in my life, like when I'm seeing so-called angel numbers and stuff like that, I like to look it up in the Bible. So that's how I do number interpretations. And I look for patterns. So Teaudra's birthday is 8/20, August the 20th, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What? That's not Leo, is it?
Yeah, it's like Leo, Cus, Virgo.
Wow. Oh, wow. Now, I didn't even see that when I first did that. Hold that thought, because that's going to connect to your brother. That's going to connect to your brother. But anyway, and also you don't have your Leo energy. I would have never ever thought that because you'd be so quiet and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably hear that a lot. But anyway, okay, her birthday is 8/20, August 20th. And so in the Bible, the number 8/20, it means two different things. Okay, it means without honor, and then it also means desolate, overwhelmed with grief, solitary, lonely. Now, this is not necessarily describing her, but it is telling her what can happen. It is telling her how the path that her life could go on if she took that path. Like maybe in a past life she took that path of like being filled with grief, of always being in solitary or always being by herself. Like those numbers are literally saying that is without honor, like to always be filled with grief and to always be in solitude and to always be by yourself. That is to be without honor. And that is also to, yeah, that's exactly what I had written down. Did you go through periods of that in this life?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
A lot, yeah, definitely. Grief, solitude.
Well, yeah, you lost. Well, I'm gonna say you lost, but
yeah.
your brother passed. So I'm sure it was definitely like that's a very close person to pass. How long ago was that, by the way?
That was 9 years ago.
9 years ago, okay. Okay, and then 1987, which is her year of birth, it means to know and understand. Now, let us remember when I'm doing names and number interpretations, I'm always looking for patterns. And so she also has no, remember, she has no in her name. So it's coming up again about her learning how to know, which is really confidence, her learning how to know. But 1987 also means to strike or to smite or to hit. So basically what it's saying altogether is that there could be a lot of overwhelming grief possibly in her life. There could be a lot of solitude. There could be a lot of loneliness. These things are without honor. And it could also cause her to know and understand smite and strike, which is basically like life hitting you. So let me give the, what word do I want to use? Not preface, because I already started talking, but sometimes when I'm doing name and birthday interpretations, these are not always pretty, okay? These are not always, oh yes, I'm supposed to go learn how to be this, worldwide known speaker, and that's not always, and that's don't mean that that's not what your purpose is supposed to be, but the name and the number is telling you what you're supposed to learn so that you can step into that other thing, whatever that is. right? And so for Teaudra, it would be for her to know and understand what happens when you basically allow yourself to go into this place of loneliness and overwhelming grief. What happens? Like life is going to smite you. It's basically what it's saying. Okay. All right. That's all your name. Oh, I did do what I normally do is when I'm doing names, I will put all of the names together and turn it into one sentence, because really that's what it's doing, is creating a story. It's creating a sentence, which is your cells, because you live inside your cells, and your cells are likened to a prison, not in a bad way, but it's likened to a prison. And so because you live inside your cells, your sentence is your name. Hope y'all got that, okay? I'm about to tell you what the whole sentence says. Then I'm going to check the chat. Then we're going to talk about her brother, with her permission, her brother and her son, because what do they have? The same the same birthday?
My son's middle name is my son. My brother's.
That's right. They had the same
name.
name. Okay, yeah. I was trying to remember what it was. So the sentence for your whole name says, you have the power and might, might, and life force to see, which is to visualize, to know, which is to have confidence, and to be, which is to manifest. And if you fail, then you should still laugh. And if you lose power and balance, then you should still laugh. So that's what your name says altogether. Okay, let me check the chat and see real quick what y'all are saying. Brooklyn said, oh, wow, so my middle name is a combination of my grandmother and great-grandmother's name. So am I taking on the karma? Yes, ma'am. That's my philosophy, okay? You don't have to accept that, but that's my philosophy. When you take on somebody else's name in your bloodline, you are completing a mission or a purpose that they came here to complete, or a lesson that they came here to complete. So that's what karma really is. Karma is really a lesson, okay? It keeps going around and around and around because somebody didn't learn something. Somebody didn't learn whatever you are in school. And so you have an assignment. And so when great grandma didn't learn it, and then she had mom, and then the lesson got passed down to mom, and then it got to you, and then mom didn't learn a lesson, and it got passed down to you. This is a school. Everybody's name represent a school. Okay. So like if you have a husband or a wife or whatever, you are in the school of whatever their name is. Whatever lessons that they came here to learn, you in it with them. Y'all in the school together. Just like on the astrology wheel, you got two planets in one house. That's like two planets. That's like two teachers being in the same school, teaching you something. All right. Shout out to my astrology teacher, my first astrology teacher, Gigi Duwell. She's the one who taught me how to read astrology in that manner, as looking at it like it's a school and the planets are teachers. Okay. Anyway. I'm just checking y'all comments. All right, so let's talk about like the relationship. She said make this live. Is it? It is live. What are you talking about, Ashley? Am I not live? What's happening right now? Okay. Let's talk about the relationship between her brother and her son. Okay, so if I don't like, I'm gonna say I don't like, I would rather for you to share that, because you're giving me permission to talk about your brother who has passed. So I want to make sure that I have your permission and your blessings to talk about it and actually share what happened. So would you like to share that?
Yeah, I can share.
Go ahead.
So my brother was killed in a car accident.
Okay.
2014.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Saturn.
Okay.
He was leaving Anchorage, Alaska, coming back to Fairbanks from the fair in Palmer, Alaska. He was killed on the.
He's coming back from a fair?
Yeah, he was coming back from the fair in Palmer, Alaska, and he was coming back to Fairbanks.
Look at you making the connections.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Not to mention that Saturn, I know this is a very delicate topic, but I'm just here to help you and even other people that may be listening to this who have some hard things that they might have experienced in their life, and they're trying to understand like why, how. Like a lot of times the universe is telling the story within the words. That's why I said, if you are new to my channel, I am a metaphysician and I specialize in word magic, which means I specialize in looking at the esoteric meaning of words. I'm listening to the sound and the vibration, and I'm putting a story together. So even Saturn itself represents the god of karma, which is representing things being fair. Like Saturn literally represents, yeah, like if you use the Google Saturn, it's going to say that it represents the god of karma, and karma is all about things being fair and just. So I didn't even know about what you just said about that he was coming from the fair, but the whole thing about with Saturn, I asked that because, you know, we should be paying attention to every word if we want to understand what the divine is trying to tell us. These things that show up in our life and these people, they have names. And I know people might be like, oh, that's only in the English language and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure it's happening in every language, okay? I'm sure if I could read Arabic or Chinese or Japanese or whatever, I would still be able to do the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's happening in every language, because your entire existence is created off of words. Don't you say, as a man thinketh, so is he, or the thoughts that you're having in your head, right? You speak things into reality. So if everything is being creative out of vibration and words, then yes, you should be paying attention to the names of things when things happen and people. Okay, this is how you read Akashic records. Or this is one way, this is my way. And this has worked for me for a long, long, long time. 10 years I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 10 years. All right. So anyway, let's go into her brother's name, because her brother passed away, but her son also has her brother's name. And so what I did was I looked for the connection between them, because like I just said, this suggests that her son is also taking on the attributes that her brother was supposed to fulfill, or whatever his karmic lesson was before he even left. Somehow her son is also taking on the lessons that was stored within his name. Okay, specifically the first name and the middle name. So your brother's name is, let me guess. Let me see if I can say it right. Dontavian?
That's correct.
Dontavian, right. Okay. I like that name. Her brother's name is Dontavian Irvin Green. Okay. Now, when we look at the Dante on the front of it, man, it's so much stuff here is just popping out at me. I mean, I did it already, but now I'm like seeing new stuff. But all right, let's just start with Don. Okay, the D-O-N. It means a Don, like the etymology of Don. D-O-N means a person of high importance or leading position. I'm going to go with this is describing a king, a person of high importance or a leading position. This is talking about a king. Here's another reason I know it's talking about a king, because the last name has Leon in it. Now I know that's a V there. Let me show you. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to show every time, but I also want Teaudra to see it, because I'm really doing this for her and y'all are just watching it. So his name is spelled D-O-N-T-A-V-E-O-N, right?
That's correct.
So, okay, so Don is, let's just say, a person of high importance, Okay, and then it says that T-A, which is the same as T-A is T, which means power. We talked about that earlier. Okay, so now not only is he a person of high importance, he also is a person of power, right? He's a person of rank. And then that V-E-O-N, well, that letter V, when we look at it as a symbol, we can turn it into an L, and now it says Leon. So it's talking about Leo. It got something to do with Leo, which is why I said you are a Leo. Now, I don't know the connection there, but it's definitely a connection between you and him. Both you and him names got to do with power, got to do with nobility, because I don't know if I said this. I mean, in fact, I know I didn't say this. The name Audrey also means noble. Okay, that's similar to a king. So both of y'all names got to do with like nobility, power. You and your brother, nobility and power. But his name has Leo in it. Leo is it is the king. It's the king because it's the highest. I'm going to use the word rank. Listen, all the Leos, if you're a Leo here, relax. Because they probably in the comments like, yes, Leo. But I'm saying that it's the highest rank because it's the highest part of when the sun is in the sky, right? It's the height of summer. So yes, it's the king, right? So, and it literally represents like that type of energy. It represents that, Leo energy represents royalty. So anyway, all this to say that your brother's name means a person of power and high importance and a king. We could also refer to this as the sun, because it's talking about the highest part of where the sun is at. So it also is saying something along the lines of that, like the sun is king. Or when the sun is in Leo, it is in like king status. Like, I don't know. I just know that it has something to do with it telling you about Leo season. It wants you to understand something about Leo. Well, it wants him, okay? His name wanted him to learn something about Leo season, which would be, thank you, Spirit, which would be you, his sister. So you would be like a teacher for him to learn something about his name. I don't know how close y'all were, but you would have been playing a role for him to understand Leo. Whatever Leo is, what he's supposed to learn it himself, you would be playing the teacher of that because you literally manifested as a Leo. Any other Leos in y'all, like household?
Nope.
Okay. So it's you, ma'am.
Yeah.
It was you. So now I feel like you may have unconsciously or subconsciously somehow knew this. And that's the reason why you gave that name to your son. Because now your son also has this name for his middle name. He's also looking for a Leo to help him know himself. That's you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
He's looking for a Leo to help him understand power, which is also you, to help him understand nobility, which is also you. But remember, you're also learning these lessons at the same time. You're learning these lessons at the same time that you're supposed to be teaching him, and also the relationship that you had with your brother. Now, the connection between them also, let me wait, because King is going to come up again. So let's just relax. Okay, Kamisha, relax. I do that when I see like a pattern in somebody's name. I'm like, ooh, 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 because I start seeing so many like connections. Okay, so basically, like I said, your brother's first name is basically says like that he's a person of high rank, and it has to do with him understanding Leo energy. It has to do with him understanding the height of the sun, that the sun is king, all of that kind of stuff. All right, now let's go to his middle name. His middle name, Irvin. It says two different things in there. First of all, it has the word never in there, or it says like, I never, like it literally says, I never. So it's telling him like a vow, maybe like a vow that he took that got to do with like something that he said he would never do. It has something to do with like him not never doing something, but it also says ever, or it says ever in. So it's also telling him that he is forever in. He is forever in what? His king mode, his being a person of high rank and leading position. Like his those two names together, like literally says, I am ever in or forever in a person of high importance. Like I'm always like, I'm like, if he was in front of me and I prayed that he could hear me through you, through me or whatever, I would be telling him that his name well, no, that's his name. That's not your son's name. But I'll be telling him that his name is telling him, or his affirmation is I am forever in the mode of a person of high importance. I am forever in a leading position. Right. And then he would also make the affirmation saying that he is never something else. And we're about to get to that, where he's saying he's never is something else. Just sidebar, Dontavian also has don't on the front of it. Like do not something. So it's also was telling him to do not something that got to do with him being a Leo. They got to do with him being king or whatever. It might have been some type of power that he might have had that maybe he wasn't supposed to abuse. but he had to learn something about what a king, thank you, Spirit, what a king doesn't do. Like, this is how a king does not behave. Okay, which also mean that this is a lesson for your son as well. Okay, now his last name Green. Green, it represents two different things. Well, not different, but it's like a spectrum, right? Everything has a polarity to it. I know people always say green is life and abundance, and green is also envy and jealousy. Why green also represents the color of envy and jealousy? I don't know, but I know that jealousy also represents the color green. Okay, so I'm not saying that he had this attribute. I'm saying that would be the part, if I would put it in a sentence, it would say, like, you know, a king doesn't ever be full of green, envious, jealous energy. Like, I would put it together, something like that, right? That he would have a lesson around that's not what kings do. That's not how kings operate, right? That would be one of his lessons. He would have something to learn about the energy of the heart chakra, because energy literally is the word green. The word green is also the word energy, right? And the heart chakra is representing the green color. So this is recorded, by the way. So of course you can go back. You're going to get this. You can go back and watch this. So his name would also be saying that he is to learn about, like, the energy of the heart chakra and how to operate in it as a king. And how to always operate in that, because remember, it's ever is in his middle name. So his name would be saying, like, you know, forever I operate in the energy of, in my heart chakra, as in the energy of a king, or the energy of like a Leo, a royalty type of energy. Whew. Okay. Anything you want to say about that? I'm ready to go into your son's name. I know it's a lot.
Yeah,
this is a lot. You're probably trying to make connections and stuff like that.
Yeah, I am. But it makes sense. My brother, he went through like a period in his life where he was like doing a lot of the wrong things and ended up catching like some charges that he beat, and he beat like 7 attempted murder charges.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so
wait, on 7 different occasions?
No, it's all one situation.
Oh, I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, it was like really some BS, and he did it on his own too. He didn't have a lawyer. He's like,
wow.
Yeah. So, but the other charges he ended up getting, and he did do time. And then when he got out, it's like he just changed his life completely.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like he definitely. My mom said she had a like when she found out that he passed, when they came and told her, she like heard a voice that told her I took him at his best. So like,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that kind of helped me like with the grief and stuff.
Yeah,
definitely helped her with the grief and.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that is beautiful. For those who are still hanging on and they're like, okay, where is this going? Well, guess what? I just talked all this stuff about her son, about the connection between her brother and her son, and I made all these connections about her brother having all this stuff to learn about being a king, about Leo representing royalty, which is like the king energy. Guess what? What's your son name?
King.
Her son name is King. Her son name is King. So both of them have, like, you literally named him King, but not even knowing that, you know, the middle name that you gave him after your brother, because it has that Leon or Leo energy, it's still got to do with the king. It's still got to do with the son being at its most highest level in royalty and all of that type of stuff. Like, you didn't even know that, but yes, it's still there. Like, your son has that same energy as your brother. Not exactly, of course not, but it's both of them had to do with them learning how to be a king. But let's go Did I? Oh, well, we don't really need to go through all the whole thing again because we really pretty much know what a king is. But let's talk about it just a little bit anyway. A king is someone who is sovereign over their own self, over their own mind, right? People always say, oh, you a king, where your land at? Right here, right? My body, my mind. That's what a king, for all the men, if you tap in on here, that's Rab Kamisha's philosophy of what a king really is. Does that mean that he actually governs land? Well, he can't govern SHIT until he governs himself. Hello, somebody? Right? So a king is someone who has learned to master their own mind and their own body. It is having complete authority over their land, which the word land has DNA in it. So land is really talking about your body. Your body. How old is your son?
He's 8.
Okay, he got time. He got time. And you being
like an old soul.
Huh? You say
he's like
an
an
old soul?
soul. Yeah.
Well, you've been giving the divine lesson or the divine assignment to be the Leo royalty energy as an example for him, as one who is at their highest elevation of royalty. And look at you, you came here on here with the my feather in your head. You already knew what was up. You was ready. You was ready, but yeah, you would be being that example of a king or queen, however you like to look at it. I don't think king really is a gender thing, but that's another topic for another day. Someone who has the highest level of authority over their mind and body. That's what you would be setting an example for him. Now that name Glass Glow, did I break that down? I don't think I even broke that down. I must have forgot that part, but just looking right at it, I mean, it literally says glass glow. What's the etymology of glass? Because that's all I really need to do. Because it's telling you that something is glowing here. Or it's telling you that, oh, this is reminding me of the sun. This is reminding me of the sun. Glass. No, I'm sorry. I know I should have did this before I got on here. I'm just looking up the etymology. For all those who are listening, you should always be looking at the etymology of words. If you don't know what etymology means, it means the origin of a word. The reason why you're doing it is because a lot of words, when you look at the origin of them, they have a spiritual meaning attached to them. Sometimes they go back to the Bible. They just have a spiritual meaning attached to them. Okay, so anyway, I looked up the etymology of glass. Okay, so it means a looking glass, or it could be a looking glass, which is also a mirror. Okay, so I would interpret that just off the top of my head as his name is telling him, this last name is telling him to look in the glass, which is the mirror, and glow and shine like the king that he is. Right? So his whole name is telling him, look in the glass, look in the mirror and glow, see the king that you are, right? And take on that person of high importance. It's telling him to look in the mirror. Thank you, Spirit. It's telling him that's what he needs to see when he looks in the mirror. And I would suggest to you that is what you instill in him. I'm pretty sure that you already are, but you should be like literally telling him to go look in the glass, which is the looking glass, the mirror. And that's where he should be doing his affirmations. His affirmations should have everything that's in his name. I am a king. Do you do affirmations with him?
Yes, but not very often.
Okay. I would highly suggest that be part of his morning routine every morning, because his name is literally giving him instructions. It's telling him to look in that mirror and glow. And his name is King, so he ain't got to go far to say something, right? He could literally go look in that mirror and say, I am a king. I am somebody of a person of high importance in a leading position. Wow. Wow. And I know that might sound very mundane, but the way that I teach reading Akashic records or speak about it is that these things can be life-changing. And the reason why is because you didn't get this affirmation out of YouTube. You didn't go on YouTube and put in affirmations for self-esteem. No, you came here with it. You came here with the affirmation already in your name. Okay? So before I get off here, because we almost at the end, for anybody who wants to book me for an Akashic record reading, you can go right to my bio right now, and you'll see one of the links up there that says get an Akashic record reading. Okay. Or you can get me, when you book it, I'm going to ask you, do you want to get the whole package, which is you get coaching, you get 2 more coaching calls with me, in addition to just me breaking your name down. Okay, that will be up to you. But anyway, so if you want to get the Akashic record reading or the name interpretation, it won't be as deep as this, because I did her name, I did her son's name, we talked about her grandma's name. Like, you would only get that much if you did the entire package, where I will be talking about your connections to your other ancestors and stuff like that, and even the name of your job and where you work at and the street that you live on. Like, I go that deep when you get all 3. But anyway, one last thing I did want to talk about, which is his birthday, which is 3/25, right? His birthday is March 25th.
Yes, my brother's was March 25th.
Oh, your brother's is March 25th. Okay. The numbers of his name, the numbers of his birthday in the Bible is named after a king. Like 3/25 in the Bible literally means the king of Persia. Okay. So again, was he really the king of Persia? I don't know. But what I'm getting at is, it's a high chance that he really, in other reincarnations, he really was a king, and your brother too. And it's all in your bloodline. Everybody's name, your grandmother being the Nobi name, your name, yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself, but like all of y'all names got to do with like king, royalty, people of high rank, things like that. But even in your brother's birth date numbers, it literally says like the king of Persia. And in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, his birthday numbers means Lion King. Again with Leo, right? I thought that was like mind-blowing to me. Now, that's not in the Bible itself. That's in a Bible dictionary that I use. I will show it to y'all. For the people who's watching it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the filter that's on here. No, you can't. But anyway, you can go on Amazon. I should put my Amazon affiliate link in here, but whatever. You can go on Amazon and just put in Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, and it's going to be a whole book that's going to give you the esoteric meaning of all the people's names that's in the Bible, and all the places that's in the Bible. It's going to tell you what they mean esoterically, like inside of yourself, inside of your mind. Okay. So that was a lot, and I think I'm done. I did write down your son. Is your son birthday 103, January 3rd?
Yes, January 3rd.
Okay, yeah. I did write that down. Is he a Capricorn?
Yes, he's a Capricorn.
Why am I saying that? I mean, why am I doing? You know why I'm doing that?
King. Right?
Well, not only that, because of Saturn. Right, your brother was in a car accident. That is how he passed. The car that he was in was a Saturn. Saturn is Capricorn. Like, not Saturn is Capricorn, but Saturn rules over Capricorn. And your son is a Capricorn. So I don't know how to explain everything that I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that there's a connection, which we'd have proved that a gazillion times, between your brother and your son, and even your brother passing away. Your brother passing away in a Saturn, which Saturn rules over Capricorn, and your son is a Capricorn, and they have the same name, King, or their names mean the same thing. All right. So, but anyway, I did look up his birthday numbers. 103 means to sing in the Bible. This is for your son. 103 means to sing in the Bible, and it also put that. Sorry, that's my cat, y'all. I don't know what he just ate. Anyway, 103 means sing, and 103 also means harvest. So that would suggest that maybe, first of all, do we know how to sing? Because that could literally be a gift. Like, it could literally manifest as an actual gift.
I mean, he's always singing around the house, but
Is he?
he
Do he sound?
he's
Do
a
he got a
little
voice?
uh,
No.
not really. I mean, it's not really developing, but he's
Okay,
always like turning stuff into like tunes and stuff, like making tunes
gotcha.
out of everything.
Okay. Well,
Everything
I
the
would just
song.
say that it
So
may have something to, it may have just be in that musical world. So if he's doing anything they got to do with music, anything they got to do with music, then you should stand behind that and you should definitely encourage that because it's in his birthday numbers. And it means harvest. So harvest is like the manifestation of crops. Like that's the season for manifesting crops. You know, like you reap what you sow, like that's when the harvest comes. So it's almost like saying singing is what's going to be connected to the harvest. So like I just said, even if he's not singing, it might have something to do with that world, like the music world. Okay. And then 2015, which is when he was born, in the Bible, that means epiphany. Like that's literally signed to the word manifest. Manifest means epiphany for all the people that's listening. So 2015, it's telling him that he's here to learn about manifestation. He's here to learn about how manifestations happen. They can happen in the form of epiphanies when you become aware of something, when something appears in front of you, right? And now it has manifested into an actual physical thing. And then 2015 also means change. So together, 2015 means to manifest change. Okay, because it meant manifest, and then it also meant change. So it means to manifest change. So it's his birthday numbers has to do with him learning how to manifest change and how and just the everything they got to do with manifestation, how to collect the harvest. It could also be telling him to sing, and that is how you manifest. Not meaning that like sing like for a living, but like write songs out, and that's how you manifest. Like people manifest in different ways, just like with what they call a human design. They have like generators, and I forget what all the languages around it, but for those who are listening, y'all know what I mean. Like people manifest in different types of energy. His could be singing. Right. I know somebody that said that they manifest so much faster when they write things down. Some people might manifest faster if they speak it. Some people might manifest faster if they sing it. Some people might manifest faster if they dance into their while they imagining something in their mind. You get what I'm saying? So his might be singing.
okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to exercise that.
Yes, that's what you should be like instilling in him. Like he's 8 years old, so that's a good age to be asking him, like, what do he want? What do he see himself doing now? Because a lot of times you already know when we start becoming adults, we start adulting. That's adultery, right? We turn adulting into adultery, which is cheating on our little self, cheating on our inner child, and we're too busy running after I gotta pay these bills and all that, and we completely ignoring our inner child. But since he's still at like such a young age, you can definitely like cultivate that and cultivate him actually manifesting what he say that he see himself doing right now at such a young age. That makes sense?
That makes sense, definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna check the chat. And I'm gonna see if Teaudra got anything, Teaudra got anything else that she want to share with me, any other questions that she want to share with me besides what she mentioned before we got on this call. But let me check the chat real quick, see what y'all saying. Okay, okay. Ma'am, there is something on your head. She knows that, Natalie. She came prepared and ready to be in her royal energy. Okay. Brooklyn said, we are real estate. That is right, true, and correct. We are the real estate. Come on, somebody. Somebody give it up for Brooklyn, because that is on point right there. When we talk about real estate, we are the property. We are the everything that we think that we need to acquire. We are it. We are it. We are the car that we want. Car is the root word of cardiology, which is the heart, is the car. Okay, so anyway, I'm not about to go on no tangent here. I think I've been on here for what, over an hour. So yeah, it's definitely time to hop off. I'm about to make me some dinner. And any last words? Anything you want to add or say, or what's your next move from here? Now that you got all this information about your connection to your grandmother and the connection between your son and your brother, and even you, right? With you being the Leo that they are pretty much representing. Anything you want to say?
No, it all adds up. It makes sense. We're gonna work on cultivating that singing thing with my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, come
But
back
yeah,
and let us know how
it
that,
makes sense.
huh?
It makes sense, I was saying. It makes sense. It
Okay.
adds up. Like,
Okay. So it's really
appreciate
all about
it.
the application. That's the next thing. For all those who are listening and they're like, okay, what do you do after this? It's about actually applying it. Like I said, you can turn your names into those affirmations, and that is what actually gives you the confidence to make your next step. Like I have a YouTube video. When you go to my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube video that says how to use Akashic Records to skyrocket your confidence. Because when you know that these things are in your name, right? So if her son, King, really embraces what that really means, then that's going to skyrocket his confidence. And the same thing with Teaudra, about her having the power, and the life force in her to know, be, and see, and all that stuff. When she actually applies that, that's when it gets real. Okay, that's when it gets real. Okay, y'all. So I'm getting off here. I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. And I hope that I see you in a one-on-one call or a name interpretation, Akashic record reading. And I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye.